Praise the Lord, everyone. Pastor KJ here. Just wanted to stop for a minute and talk to you about change in transition. A few months ago, before we moved from Las Vegas to Phoenix, my father-in-law passed away, and Liz and I had to go back home to Chicago Heights for the funeral. And on the way back, we had just decided that we weren't going to bother our relatives to drive us back to O'Hare. We were going to take the train. We are from there. We're used to taking the train, going downtown from the south suburbs. And so we jumped on Metra, and as we got to Millennium Station to transfer to the Blue Line that takes us to O'Hare, we noticed something very, very interesting. At least I did. And I believe she did too, because she said, "Did you notice how those people were walking?" Every city, every place, even where you're from, it has its own feel. As a musician, I call it the groove. It is when you get home, no matter where you're from, Chicago, New York, somewhere in Florida, Texas, the Midwest, LA, Seattle, any other parts of the world, your city, whether you were born and raised there, or whether you transitioned there when you were young, you acclimated yourself to that city. You have what I call its groove. As we were walking through Millennium Station, I noticed people passing me by, and eventually I began to walk as they walked. They walked purposefully. They had a place to go. I didn't see many people on their phones or talking on their phones. Those that were talking on their phones were talking about business and money and their jobs and those type things. They were all purposefully walking someplace. Not knowing where they were going, I automatically fell in line with what they were doing, and I began to move as they moved. And it began to become really comfortable to me. It was comfortable because it was a feel. It was a groove. I was back home. You know how it is when you're back home. It's a really wonderful thing. As I'm sitting on the plane, I begin to think about, just suppose that with all the changes that I'm planning on making, what if I'm wrong? You know how it is. We plan on making changes. We do when we move and change jobs, or when we change cities. Hey, I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to change and do this. And now I'm going to have to change the clothes that I have for this city. I'm going to have to change the clothes that I wear for this job. I'm going to have to change my attitude. I'm just going to have to adapt to those things that are around me and make the changes that I need to make to be successful. That's all well and good. That's really fine. I think that's a wonderful thing to do. But just suppose that with all the changes and adjustments that we plan on making, suppose that the people that God has sent you to don't need you to become what they are. They need you to be who God made you to be. Just suppose that with all the wonderful things that God has done for you, with all the shaping and the molding that he did for you on the backside of the desert, or all the things that you've been through in your past, they shaped you, molded you, and made you as Esther for such a time as this. Suppose what you are as a leader, as a pastor, as a leader of people on a job, as a supervisor, as a manager, as owner of a business, whatever God has sent you to do, suppose you are exactly what the people that you've been sent to need and actually might have been praying for. You ever thought about that? I thought about all the changes that I made when I first moved to Phoenix and back in '89, and I said I wasn't going to lose my Chicago groove, and I was very successful then. I moved to Las Vegas, adjusted to Las Vegas, and I guess it's kind of like Kenny got his groove back. We get our groove back because I realized that I'm not sent here to become like the people that I've been sent to, because they have been praying for the change or the adjustments that I bring. Your people in your group, don't become like them. You've been sent to be what they need. Moses was shaped and molded in Egypt. If all things work together for good, Moses was shaped and molded in Egypt. He went to the backside of the desert where he was shaped and molded there in order for him to become the deliverer that they needed. David had to run from Saul and all that he did and go live with the Philistines to become what he needed to go back and do what he needed to do and be who he needed to be for the people that he needed to minister to. Listen, Whatever your groove is, whatever you bring to the table, bring it to the table. Bring your leadership to the table. Bring all that experience, everything that you've been through, bring it to the table, because the people that you've been sent to need exactly what you bring to the table. They need you to be you. Just be you. I lost a certain amount of me making adjustments, and I'm getting that back. I'm taking it back. Get yours back. Get yours back and be exactly what you need to be to do what you need to do in the time that you need to do it, okay? All right, I'll talk to you later. God bless you.